Hello, 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 everyone. This is Diane Lang. I am hoping that I'm live, and I have about 20 minutes today to let's talk hemp. That's what we're going to be talking about. Hemp, CBD oils, the connection, the relationship to the marijuana industry, and all of that goes along with that. And hey, hello, I see. Hi, Kinga. Good to see you here. So yes, you guys, welcome to I'm going to give it just a minute. I just want to let you know what we're kind of going to do. I have just stamped a company that specializes in high quality, high grade CBD oils. I kind of came out of the closet the other day in terms of the true and actual physical pain that I'm in every day, and it's really starting to suck the shit out of my life force, and it's becoming very old, very tiring. It's wearing me out, and I always try to, have this positive attitude and stuff like that, and I actually think I pull that off fairly well most of the time. But in truth, I'm not feeling that great, and it's affecting my life. It's affecting my business. It's affecting my friendships. It's affecting my social life. It's affecting my bank account. And so it's kind of like, reaching out into the abyss to try to find something to help you. And I really think that had this option been available to me years and years ago, I may have even handled some of my other health issues differently. So that's just what it is. So can you guys tell me, I see people joining, Clancy, Jackie, Kevin, can you guys tell me, can you hear me clearly? I have a a mic that's plugged in, so I want to make sure that you can hear me. So if somebody can just post a comment and say, yes, you're coming through clearly, I would appreciate that. So or somebody would have said they're talking and we can't hear you. All is fine. Perfect. Okay, so today I only have about 20 minutes. I have a call at 1:30 I have to jump on. But I wanted to get the conversation started, and I wanted to kind of share more. I did a post yesterday, kind of my long story. I did a video, and I do that in part because the fact that replication allows people to do something or watch something, 24 hours a day, or while I'm sleeping or attempting to be sleeping, which is more my story. That they could go and watch that and get some information. So I just really want to open the conversation right now, and I'll share with you a little bit about specifically what I'm going to do going forward. And I'm actually really going to document this journey. I've made a commitment to give stay with this program for a year with the company and with the oils, because I've been trying stuff like that through dispensaries, and I can't tell you, I've had a tremendous amount of success, and I'll explain to you why. But part of it is that it's a crapshoot out there. It's a crapshoot when you go to a dispensary. There's mom and pops kitchens that are making cookies and extracting oils, and they're allowing them in dispensaries, which is all fine and dandy. But I can be honest with you in telling you that when I went to the dispensary, there is, first of all, by legitimacy, you would need to go to your doctor. You need to get a prescription. You need a doctor that's willing to give you a prescription. You have to fill out a lot of personal information. You have to, sign all these documents. You have to say you're not going to let anybody else have access to your stuff, because you can walk in there and it's like there's walls of marijuana strains and things like that. And then there's CBD capsules, and there's little things called Z-bombs. I'll give you my story about the Z-bombs, not today, because they were, I had one experience on them that was like 10 hours of being wasted and then nothing, and these are little packages of things that you take, and they're $10 a package. Oh, sorry, my phone is turned on. And so there's a lot of money that goes into trying products and stuff like that, and then we're ingesting it. So I really wanted to be cognizant of the stuff that's going in my body, and frankly, to do what I do for a living and to, work with people, coach people and all that, I can't be high. And so most of everything was making me high, or I tried some CD capsules and stuff like that, little capsules, and they can be up to $6 a capsule. Well, if they tell you to take that twice a day, day, that's $12 a day. You times that by $30 a month, you're dishing out a lot of money. And I just really wasn't getting a consistent result. But part of it was, in truth, the money, because it's a struggle to keep up with all of this financially, which is in part why I feel this company is really what, as I started to explain this to you, what they've done is ingenious, because they're allowing people to have a CBD store or change the Future Outcome, which is the company. They're allowing you to have a store where you can go in and order at the same prices that distributors and associates do, and that you can actually have people buy from that store and you yourself never have to spend a dime. And so that can help somebody who's in pain, who is struggling, because there's a lot of health issues on the earth, a lot of people with emotional issues, depression, PTSD, anxiety, and all of that sometimes culminates because we did have a health issue, or we had a life experience that was really difficult for us to get through. And so we can end up leaning towards things like drugs, but being high all the time really isn't a solution. And I find, high ends up with a low. You might feel high for this moment in time, but I still found there's a level of depression and stuff that can go along with that. And so for somebody who's and I'm being very honest about my story now. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007, and I did nothing but alternative stuff. I did have the tumor removed, and then I went into really high-end nutritionals. My nutritionals were costing me $500 to $600 a month. I got through that really well. Nobody even knew I went through it if you hadn't known I had the actual surgery. Then I was diagnosed again 2 years later. That was a little scary to get diagnosed again. I thought, yeah, maybe I'll try something this time. I tried radiation the second time and the surgery. And frankly, I've never felt really great since. That surgery did a lot to me. There was a point in time I could literally not even stuff a pillow in the pillowcase because I was so tired from it. I wasn't sleeping. Insomnia has a cycle that starts to that cycle will get us into emotional imbalances, depression, hormone, all of that stuff. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going on this journey with hemp, and the hemp oils, but the beauty of the CBD oil, and especially if it's extracted properly, this actually matters, because if you heat it, you lose a massive amount of the properties and the phytonutrients that are in it. If it's properly extracted and CO2 extracted, you maintain those phytonutrients. There is no psychedelic effect. CBD oils have actually been bought back into the market. They changed the category as to where they classify them. They're not classified as I think it's class 1 drug, which is where marijuana falls. The marijuana plant, the THC that comes out of the marijuana plant, does have health benefits, but it also has a psychedelic effect. And they used to say that a plant had about 5% THC in it, or like I might be getting, I want to get this right. Anyways, what I'm going to be saying to you here, they've developed so many strains, you can just go like on a stone journey. There's so much marijuana now that can get you so high. And somebody that's older doesn't want that. They're never going to, they're closed. They're not going to try the oils. They're not going to go to dispensaries. I've called a dispensary to ask them questions, and the man on the phone was so high, and you could tell him, you could just tell. So that's the other thing, is just a crapshoot in that regard. He's like, hey, yeah, we got that stuff. Yeah, come on. Yeah, you can boil it online. I asked him about specific things that I wanted to know from the percentages, and he just didn't have a clue. And this was a dispensary in British Columbia. And I was like, well, that's not overly comforting. The other thing is what's happening in the dispensaries. It's also becoming everything. Cookies, and you can get juices with it in it. You can get cakes. You can get all sorts of stuff that you eat. And again, it's all a crapshoot. You can get somebody who baked those cookies and then dropped them off at the dispensary where they're going to sell them to us. And one cookie could get you like, oh, that one wasn't too bad. I got a little bit of relaxation out of that one. And the next one, you're like, la, 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 playing your playlist really loud because you're stoned. And I don't like the inconsistency of that. It doesn't help me. And THC, and frankly, never helped my pain. And I'm all about resolving my issue with pain right now. So I do want to talk to you about a few things. So people that want to, especially people that were in pain, that don't want to have to go to the doctors, you don't have to go to a doctor for CBD oils, but they're really not, they're very in the market anywhere. Hemp has literally, I was looking at this thing the other day, like 25,000 different things can be made with hemp. Hemp is 12,000 years old. There was a time where hemp actually was a requirement for a farmer to grow. Hemp tinctures, the oil tinctures were in kits in the wars because of the effect they had on anxiety. So if you go for straight CBD and straight CBD oils, you don't worry about the psychedelic effect. It has massive effect on anxiety, depression, seizures. It does something to a cancer cells, which to me, which I'm kind of learning, it's almost like it just doesn't feed a cancer cell. And so it doesn't, it kind of diminishes the ability for the cancer cell to go rogue. It works for nausea. Anybody that's going through treatments, that's going through anything where they're putting something in their body that causes nausea, which could come from the pharmaceutical industry and drugs and stuff that people are on. And that's one thing I'm passionate about. And that's going to become more clear over time, is I am tired of the pharmaceutical approach to everything. And I got really disappointed when I went this Christmas to a new doctor, because my doctor left town, and my doctor really didn't push drugs at all. I mean, he would be like, if you really, really need them, I'll give them to you. But otherwise, let's do smoothies. Let's do naturopathic. Let's get off gluten. Let's do MAT. Let's do vitamin therapy. And he was a GP. And so this doctor at Christmas time, when I went to him, he said, you just need to come to peace with doing opioids, Diane. If you've been in pain this long and it's this bad, you need opioids. And so you have to either accept the side effect of the opioid, which typically, if you actually understand that journey, means you end up on another drug to handle the side effect, and it goes and it goes and it goes, and it can become a tunnel. Hemp and CBD and marijuana is getting people off opioids, and it's really overdue in the market. It's been suppressed for a long time, but what's the most exciting part to me is they've allowed the CBD oils to be separate from the illegal marijuana. Okay, and because I don't know what it means in terms of having CBD oil in your body and them doing a blood test if you're driving, but there's no psychoactive effect. So, that part of the industry is really scary. Rachel's telling me that this looks weird. This is a painting. It's just a beautiful painting that was given to me. It's nothing weird. It's got some beautiful messages in it. So anyways, there's a lot of aspects to the industry. There's a lot of aspects to accessing this. This company is in a direct selling industry, which to me, that was just so beautiful that this has made it into an industry where people can just have it shipped directly to your home. And you can get that from dispensaries. They do ship to your home, but you don't really know exactly who the manufacturers are. You don't know what's actually necessarily in that plant. There's ways to extract oils and stuff like that can actually include solvents and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want any of that in my body. I don't want to worry about that. And I don't want to take one little Z-bomb and be stoned for 10 hours and then take another one and get absolutely no relief or nothing. And in actuality, they become frustration pills to me more than anything. And when somebody says to me, well, I can get you these really good CBD capsules, they're $8 a capsule. I have people that say, well, I got a friend, I can drop some stuff up for you. It's all unregulated. It's not what I want to do. So that's why I was looking and praying and asking for something that would go into the market, that I was confident with the consistency of the oils that I would be putting in my body. This company, they're out of the United States. It's organic hemp grown in the United States. It's manufactured in a good manufacturing facility. And what that means is there's standards that they have to meet. They have to prove that there's a consistency in the percentage of the product that's going into the market. There has to be, they get regulated. There's a lot of stuff that says this is really consistent. The company, the testimonials that are coming out of this product from this company, because I think it actually went live around the middle of January or the 20th of January or something. It's unbelievable. You have to be an associate to get into the testimonial page, because they don't want people running rampant testimonials all over the internet, because there are guidelines to giving a proper testimonial. You yourself have used the product, or you are with somebody that's using the product, meaning I'm giving it to my mom for arthritis and her hands are moving for the first time in sometimes weeks, years. The pet line is really getting a lot of really good testimonials. And then their creams are getting amazing testimonials for people that are having trouble with that. They have sublingual sprays that go underneath your tongue. When you spray something underneath your tongue, or you take the CBD oils and you drop them, they go straight into our body. They're the fastest way to ingest something. They don't have to pass through the digestive system, so it's not getting mixed up in all of that, because they've proved that when you digest a pill, we may lose up to 70% of its properties through the digestive system. So I think that's why it's really good that the industries and all are doing the oils and the sublinguals and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions, you can write them there. I am going to be doing these regularly. I'm going to be documenting my journey. I am doing this to promote it as a business also, because I'm passionate about that, and I also have to find something I can do to bring money into my own life. And when I believe in something, I'm very happy to stamp it. People have questions, they want to ask them in private. They can reach out to me through a private message. We can get on a phone call. It literally takes about 4 to 5 minutes to sign up for a free account with this company, and then you get to go in and you can see the back office. You can see all of the ingredients. If you go to the website, and I'll put the links up, there's one there. If you look at products, it goes product labels. The labels are like everything that's there. They're legible. I had a company that I was with looking at some stuff before, and their labels were all blurry on the internet. You literally couldn't see them. And so I was like, why don't you guys make your images better? Because people are asking me, and I can't even tell them, and I can't send them to direct there, because everybody cares what goes into their body. At least most of us care what goes into their body. But if you want the assistance of the CBD oil, which in itself, when extracted properly, has over 400 phytonutrients, you can lose a lot of those nutrients if it's not extracted properly. If the CBD oils are coming out of somebody making it in their kitchen, frankly, not really wanting to support that, not really wanting to have that crapshoot as to what happens today on this capsule compared to what could happen tomorrow on this capsule. They can't regulate and control the THC the same way. I mean, I'm all for the dispensaries and everything coming up. I really believe this industry, it's overdue. They've been keeping this from us for a long time. And I have all sorts of, opinions as to what they did with the illegal marijuana. I mean, they did it to move money and launder money and make it legal and all sorts of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff. Hemp has been on the earth for 12,000 years. It is there's certain aspects in hemp that are the highest concentration. I can't remember. There's a certain word that's the highest concentration of any plant on the earth. It's good for the environment. If you use it, you can make so many. This much paper comes out of a hemp versus this much paper that comes out of a tree, and we're obviously screwing up the world in that equation. And I was listening to this story that one of the reasons they actually made illegal hemp was so that there's certain people, those 1% people, could manipulate the industry with paper money and all of that, because really in the US, money that's just a printing press. That's what they do. They print it. There's nothing to back it, and hopefully that's resolving itself. Totally different conversation. So I want you to just think about, is there somebody out there that's suffering? I do know there's a lot of people that are kind of semi-older that really are not really interested in they're not interested in ever dealing with dispensaries. They don't want to do marijuana. I mean, a lot of parents, that are having problems with arthritis and things like that. We tell them, do you want to try they go, pot? I don't want to try pot. And they're not even open to that. And yet there is a solution to them if they go to the CBD oils. So there's going to be a bit of, like I said, there'll be a regular conversation going on about that. One of the things is to feel confident that the quality of product that you're getting is actually coming with consistency. It's really hard to weigh out what to do next or what to try next when it is inconsistent. So like, for example, like I say, I've tried some of the stuff from the dispensaries. I've been to 4, 5, 6 of them in person, and like literally it was really kind of, there's all sorts of people in them and stuff like that. And so there's people that are just not going to be comfortable going to them. I've also dealt with some online. Like I said, you phone there, and sometimes I've had some great conversations, and I've had some where it's like, they really need to talk to their people about being high at work, because I believe that if I'm paying for you for something and I'm coming to you for assistance and help, I would really like it if you weren't high when you were talking to me. And it's for my own business, and people would just say, well, just get on pot. And I'm like, I'm a life coach. I'm a spiritual life coach. I can't be high, and I can't be high when I'm talking to people, and I can't be high. It's not right for me and my own integrity to be stoned when I'm working with clients. And so this is just kind of a way for me to bring this around and get something in my body. The company, I'm just really loving a lot of what they're doing. If they've allowed free accounts, so anybody can join. You can go in, you can manage your orders. I'm going to do screen sharing and show you guys some other stuff. I just don't have time to do it today. And who wants anybody to be high at work? People are operating machinery. People are doing all sorts of stuff, and people are losing their jobs over trying to, getting tested for being high. And really they are legitimately trying to deal with pain or depression or anxiety and all of those things. And sometimes if you have anxiety issues, getting high doesn't actually resolve the anxiety. There's things in the actual CBD and the cannabinoid that gets extracted in the oil that is very good for anxiety. I've been watching some videos kind of just on when I go on my, I got to learn everything once I look at something. And I've been watching videos where they literally show the difference between a childs that are having like 20, 30, 40 seizures a day, and they go on CBD oils that they had to fight to get, and they're still getting it from a crapshoot dispensary, but they're going into where their child is down to 1 or 2 seizures a day. Like, that's life-changing. I get teary because I'm an emotional person, so I can get really emotional about all of that stuff. And then I'm also watching PTSD. There's so much messed up shit that's going on in the world that our soldiers and our vets are coming home struggling, and we're not even remotely doing enough to help them, and this can help them. What disappoints me is it has to come out of our own pocket. My health plans and all of that stuff will pay all day long for my opioids. That'll pay for my sleeping pills. It'll pay for depression pills. It'll pay for pain pills or whatever. But when I say to them, I want to do something natural, supplementation, they're saying, oh yeah, have at it. Don't ask me about that. And make sure you have the bank account to support it and pay for it. And there's a lot of people that are staying on drugs. They're staying on drugs because they can't afford this. This company has some nutritionals. It has a superfood called Super 7. It has shakes. So that's actually what the company was about for the first 2 years until they brought the hemp, launched or actually became public with their hemp line in January. They have skincare. Hemp skincare has been in health food stores for years and years. And they have oils, and then they have a pet line. And so the one thing I'm really enjoying is the testimonials about pets. People are saying there's a spray, or they've been putting a drop in the water for the pets, or they put a drop in their mouth. This is peppermint based. I believe everything's peppermint based because it can taste kind of crappy to do that. So if you have to put it in a slight bit of water to swallow it, or juice, I just wouldn't put my oil in this much juice. If I wanted to really get I would put it in this much juice just to mask the flavor, because you want it to get through your body as much as possible. So it's really interesting to watch when people are saying my pet hasn't been able to jump on a couch or off, on and off the couch, and they're doing that after they're getting them into CBD oils. And so I'm going to have to jump off here. I'm going to be doing these on a regular basis. I'm going to actually do ones about the product and the industry and all that, and then I'll also do ones about the business, because there really is this industry is going to get big whether we're part of it or not. And if you can get your hemp, if you can get your oil paid for, because some people come and buy something from your store, a shake or whatever, and there's literally no financial requirement for you. You don't have to order a thing. That's not something, it's just really, it's kind and it's ingenious if you understand the industry, the direct marketing industry, because most of us have to fill 150 plus product order to be able to get a check from a company. These guys are saying, we pay you 20% to bring that customer to us, because to acquisition that customer at 20% is less money than it takes to be on an advertised shelf next to all of these other products, say for example in a Shoppers, and Shoppers never gives me 20% back for nothing other than points, but they don't give me cash money back because I sent somebody there to pick up their cold medicine or their makeup or their skincare or something like that. So they're giving back, and that matters to me. Some people might look at it as strictly the money part of it. You know, I always have these conversations, and people, well, you'll talk, I called my Facebook page CBD Wealth, facebook.com, but I'm like, wealth is wealth and happiness, wealth and love, wealth in your bank account, wealth in your thinking, wealth in your healthy relationships. If somebody thinks wealth is money, that's a box they live in. It's not the box that I live in. And I teach this kind of all the time, because we don't want to turn things away simply because we are scared of every opportunity that's out there. That there's a lot of fabulous companies on the earth. There's a lot of them that care. We just don't get told about them, and we certainly don't hear it through the news. And one other thing I can tell you is that you can't watch the news anymore. I don't really have much for TV in my house, but I can tell you that when you see the commercials for what the news is going to be about that night, you hardly ever see anything that doesn't have a marijuana image that flies through what's going to be on the news that night. So it's here to stay. It's getting processed in some very healthy ways. The government's allowed the oil to go back into the farming agricultural category. That's why they're making it. It's this hemp oil itself is legal in the States and in Canada. It's the marijuana, the THC side of the story that they're struggling with and trying to control and do all that. And there is advantages to THC. You just won't find it in this particular product. But I tell people, if you really want to be accessing really high quality CBD oils and you want to get them from a proper source and manufacturer, and then you can go get your pot from the dispensary, and it's like a kid in a candy store when you walk in there. If you really look at it, it's amazing how much stuff and strains, and they'll talk to you about, oh, this one will do this one will do that, and that one will wax you out, and this is couch potato stuff, and you know, it's just, it doesn't do anything for me, my life, and my pain. You know, that to me is more of a social thing. I never found, people would always say, well, smoke dope for pain. I was like, pain doesn't do anything for my pain. It never has. I've been struggling with pain since like literally 1988. It's just gotten a lot worse. And, you know, I try to get up and make the best out of my days, but I live very quietly and I don't socialize much anymore because of it. And I would like that to change, because that's my life being affected. So I'll be doing these regular. Thank you for anybody that jumped in, for your comments and stuff like that. And I'll probably maybe even do another one. I'm not tomorrow, but Thursday. And these will be there for you guys to watch later. So thank you for coming forward and being part of it. And, you know, anybody that has questions, you know, let's get this conversation going. It's an important one, and there's lots of people that we can help. God bless you guys. Diane Lang. And we will see you later.